Dear students, great day. Let us start our session with History 3, Emergence of New Kingdoms in South India, later Chola and Pandyas. The objectives are to trace the origin of the later Cholas and the later Pandyas, to know about the prominent rulers of both the kingdoms, to knowledge about their administrative system, to understand the social, economic, cultural development during their region. Chola Empire. Chola Empire are originated in the fertile valley of river Kaveri. The popular kings of southern India were Cheras, Cholas and Pandyas. The Cholas were very powerful and popular kingdom. Their capital were Urayur, present-day Tiruchirappalli. After Karigala, his successor were failed to rule. In 9th century, Vijayalaya, ruling over a small territory lying north of the Kaveri, he conquered Tanjavur and made it his capital. Later, Rajendra I and his successor ruled the empire from Gangaikonda Cholapuram, the newly built capital. Rajaraja I was the most powerful ruler of Chola Empire. He established Chola power over large parts of southern India. His much approval for naval expedition led to expansion of Chola into West Coast and Sri Lanka. He built the famous Rajarajeswaram temple, that is Bragadishwara, in Tanjavur. His son and successor, that is Rajendra Chola I, matched his father in his ability to expand the empire. The Chola Empire remained powerful force in southern India during his reign. After his accession in 1023, his military expedition was to northern India to capturing much territory there. He proclaimed himself title Gangaikondan, means conqueror of the Gangai region. Gangaikonda Cholapuram temple was built to his victory of North India. The navy of Rajendra Chola enabled him to conquer the kingdoms of Sri Vijaya in southern Sumatra. Chola's control over the sea facilitated his flourishing overseas trade. Decline of Chola Empire. Rajendra Chola's three successors were not capable power to rule. Third successor, Veera Rajendra's son, Atti Rajendra, was killed in civil unrest. With his death ended the Vijayalaya, the line of Chola rule. Matrimonial alliances between Cholas and Eastern Chalukyas began during reign of Rajaraja I. His daughter Kundavai was married to Chalukya's prince Vimaladitya. Their son Rajaraja Narendra, who married daughter of Rajendra Chola, named Angama Devi. Their son was Klotunga I. On hearing death of Atti Rajendra, Eastern Chalukya prince Rajendra Chalukya seized Chola throne behind rule of Chalukya Chola dynasty. as Klothunga I. Klothunga I established himself firmly on the Chola throne, soon eliminating all the threats to Chola Empire. He avoided unnecessary war and earned goodwill of his subjects. But Klothunga lost the territories in Ceylon. The Pandya's territory also began to split out of Chola control. The year 1279 marks the end of Chola dynasty when King Maravarman Kulasekara Pandya I defeated the lost king Rajendra Chola III and established a rule of Pandyas in present-day Tamil Nadu. Kanjipuram was lost to Telungu Cholas. Administration of Chola. The central administration was in the hand of king. As the head of the state, the king enjoyed enormous power. The king's orders were written down in palm leaves by his officials or inscribed on temple walls. The king's was hereditary in nature. It means after father, the son will be a king. The ruler selected his eldest son as heir apparent. That means that is for the next king. He was known as the Yuvaraja. The Yuvarajas were appointed as governor in the administration. The Chola rulers established an organized system of administration. The empire for administrative is divided into mandalams. Each mandalams was subdivided into nadus. Within each nadus, there were many kurams, that is, group of villages. The lowest unit called gramam, it means village. Local governance. Local administration divided into various bodies such as Urar, Sabayar, Nagaratar, Natar. With expansion of agriculture, more settlement came to countryside. They were known as Ur. The Urar, who were landholders, acted as spokesman in the Ur. Sabayar in Brahman village also functioned in carrying out activities like administrative, financial, judicial functions. Nagaratar administered the settlement of traders. However, skilled artisans like blacksmith, goldsmith, potteries are also lived in Nagarams. Natar functioned as an assembly of Tamil Nadu and decided all disputes and issues pertaining to Nadu. The assemblies in Ur, Sabha, Nagaram, Nadu worked through various committees. The committees took care of irrigation, road, temples, garden, collection of revenue, conduct religious festivals. Uttarametru inscription. Uttarametru, presently Kanjipuram district, was a Brahmadeya village. It means land granted given to Brahmins. There is a detailed description of how members were elected to committees of the village Sabha in the inscription found there. One member was to be elected from each ward. There were 30 wards in total. The eligibility to contest was to men in the age group of 35 to 70, well versed in Vedic texts and sculptures and scriptures, and owned land and houses. The process of election was as follows. The names of qualified candidates from each wards were written on the palm leaf slip put into a pot. The eldest of the assembly would engage the boy to pull out one slip, declare his name. Various committees were decided in this way. Revenue. The revenue of the Chola state came mainly from land. The land tax known as Kanigadan, the Chola rulers carried out an elaborate survey of land in order to fix government share of land revenue. 1/3 of produce was collected as land tax. It was collected mostly in kind. In addition to land tax, there were taxes on profession and tolls on trade. Social structure based on land relation. The Chola ruler gifted tax-free land to royal official Brahmins, temple, religious institution. Land granted to Jain institution called Pallichandam. The land Velanvagai and the holders of this land were called Velavas. Ulkud, a subsection of Velalar, could not own land but had to cultivate Brahmadaya Velanvagai land. The holders of Velanvagai land retained Melvaram, that is a major share in harvest. The Ulkudi got Keelvaram, that is a lowest share. Adimai, that is a slaves. And Panichi Makal, that is a laborer, worked the lowest respect of the society. That is, they only got the lowest respect of their society. In the intermediate section came the armed men and traders. Irrigation. Cholas gave importance to irrigation. The 16-mile long embankment built by Rajendra Chola in Gangaikonda Cholabram is an example for irrigation. Vatti Vaikal, a criss-cross channel, is a traditional type of harvesting rainwater in Kaveri Delta. Vatti is a drainage channel. Vaikal is a supply channel. The commonly owned village channels were called Ur Vaikal. The Nadu level Vaikal is called as Nadu Vaikal. The turn system was in practice in distributing the water. Religion. Chola rulers were ardent Saivatis. Hymns in practices of deeds of Lord Shiva were composed by Saiva saints and the Nayanmas. The Nambi under Nambi codified them, which came to be known as the Tirumurai. Temples. Chola period witnessed an extensive construction of temples. Temples in Tanjavur, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Dharasuram, example for architecture, sculptures, painting of the art. Temples during the Chola period were not only a place of worship, they were the largest landholders. Temples promote education, devotional form of arts such as dance, music, dramas. The staff of the temples included temple officials, dancing girls, musicians, singers, players of musical instruments, and the priests. Chola as patrons of learning. Chola kings were great patrons of learning. Rajendra I established the Vedic culture at now in Viluppuram district. There were 340 students learning the Vedas, grammar, Upanishad under 14 teachers. This example was later followed by his successor. And as a result, 2 more such colleges has been founded at Tirubhuvanai, now in Pondicherry, and Tirumukkodal in Chengalpattu in 1048 and 1067 respectively. The great literature work are Periya Puranam, Kambaramayanam belong to this period. Trade. There was a flourishing trade during the Chola period. Trade was carried out by 2 guides like groups, that is Anjuvanatar, Manigramatar. Anjuvanatar comprised West Asian Arabs, Jews, Christians, and Muslims. They were maritime traders and settled on port towns all along West Coast. It is said that Manigramatar were the traders engaged in inland trade. In due course, both groups merged under the banner of Ainutruvar and Disai Ayyarattu Ainutruvar, functioning through the head guided in Aihole, Karnataka. This Ainutruvar guide operated the maritime trade covering Southeast Asian countries through elephant truck, coal, transparent glass, nuts, glasses, cotton stuff with colored silk threads were imported. Items exported from here were sandalwood, condiments, precious gems, pepper, oil, paddy, grains, salt. Remaining topics all to be continued in part 2 session. Thank you.